26th of December 2024, 5 days to the end of the year. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, coming to you live from Somalia's administrative center and its capital, Mogadishu. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, quite a number of stories lined up for you, but lovely viewers. First, let's take a look at the stories that are making our headlines. Somalia's president visits Eritrea amidst Ethiopia's Red Sea ambitions. Lawmakers condemn suspension of domestic flights to Dolo district. At least 5 killed in inter-clan conflict in Mudug region. At least 5 killed in inter-clan conflict in Mudug region. Somalia and Ethiopia push forward on Ankara deal despite border clash. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud arrived in Asmara on Wednesday for bilateral talks with the Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki, marking his 4th visit in 6 months. The Eritrean Ministry of Information confirmed that the visit aims to enhance bilateral ties and address regional and international matters of shared importance. President Mohamud was received with a red carpet reception at Asmara International Airport, underscoring the growing partnership between the two nations. Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud arrived in Asmara on Wednesday for bilateral talks with Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki, marking his 4th visit in 6 months. The Eritrean Ministry of Information confirmed that the visit aims to enhance bilateral ties and address regional and international matters of shared importance. President Mohamud was received with a red carpet reception at Asmara International Airport, underscoring the growing partnership between the two nations. Somalia's ties with Eritrea and Egypt have strengthened in response to Ethiopia's contentious deal with Somaliland, granting Addis Ababa port access in Berbera. Mogadishu condemned the agreement as an infringement on its sovereignty and the step towards Somaliland's international recognition. Ethiopia, a landlocked nation, defended the deal as vital to its economic interest, further straining relations with Somalia. Eritrea, which shares a fraught history with Ethiopia, has expressed concerns over Addis Ababa's ambition for port access, viewing them as potential threat to its territorial integrity. The alliance between Somalia and Eritrea and Egypt reflects a shifting balance of power in the Horn of Africa. The three nations solidified their partnerships during a summit in Asmara last October, agreeing to enhance security cooperation and counter-terrorism efforts. Analysts view the burgeoning alliance between Somalia, Eritrea, and Egypt as a counterweight to Ethiopia's regional dominance. Ethiopia's maritime aspirations, coupled with contentious dam project on the Nile, have strained its relation with Somalia and Egypt, both of whom see Addis Ababa's actions as destabilizing. A group of Somali federal lawmakers condemned the government's decision to suspend civil flights to Dolo in the Geda region on Wednesday, calling the move unconstitutional and violating international conventions. In a joint press statement, the lawmakers criticized the suspension, citing Articles 21, 61, and 69 of Somalia's transitional constitution, which guarantees citizens freedom of movement and the obligation of government institutions to protect their rights. Here's the full story. A group of Somali federal lawmakers condemned the government's decision to suspend civil flights to Dolo in the Geda region on Wednesday, calling the move unconstitutional and violating international conventions. In a joint press statement, the lawmakers criticized the suspension, citing Articles 21, 61, and 69 of Somalia's transitional constitution, which guarantees citizens freedom of movement and obligation of the government institutions to protect their rights. The lawmakers accused government leaders of consistently undermining citizens' freedom and urged immediate reversal of the flight suspension orders. The controversy follows recent clashes in Dolo, where Ethiopian and Jubaland forces seized control of the strategic town after intense fighting with Somali National Army troops on Sunday. The Somali National Ministry of Foreign Affairs alleged Ethiopian troops attacked the Somali National Army bases in the district, which was denied by Addis Ababa. Tensions between federal government and Jubaland remain very high, followed by disagreements over governance and electoral processes. At least 5 people were killed and several others wounded in an inter-clan conflict in Jebor, a rural area in the western Mudug region, local sources reported on Tuesday. The violence erupted between the clan militias from the Saho and Galgadob districts over grazing land, displacing hundreds of families who fled their homes in fear of escalating hostilities. Here's the full story. At least 5 people were killed and several others wounded in an inter-clan conflict in Jebor, a rural geopolitical area in the Western Mudug region, according to our local journalist in the local area. The violence erupted between clan militias from the Sahaw and Galgodop districts over grazing land, displacing hundreds of families who fled their homes in fear of escalating hostilities. The traditional elders have started efforts to resolve the conflict between the two sides. However, both Mudug and Puntland administrations have yet to comment on the clashes. The region has experienced sporadic conflicts over natural resources in the past. Somalia and Ethiopia are working to salvage a fragile peace after the deadly clash in Somalia's border of Dolo threatened to derail commitments made under Ankara declaration earlier this month. Ethiopia's State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mesagnu Arga, and Somalia's State Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ali Omar, met in Addis Ababa on Tuesday to reaffirm their nation's dedication to Ankara agreements. The discussions, which came just a day after Ethiopian troops allegedly attacked Somali forces in Dolo, focused on strengthening bilateral ties and maintaining stability in the volatile Horn of Africa region. Somalia and Ethiopia are working to salvage a fragile peace after a deadly clash in Somalia's border town of Dolo threatened to derail commitments made under the Ankara declaration earlier this month. Ethiopia's State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mesagnu Arga, and Somalia's State Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ali Omar, met in Addis Ababa on Tuesday to reaffirm their nation's dedication to Ankara agreements. The discussions, which came just a day after Ethiopian troops allegedly attacked Somali forces in Dolo, which focused on strengthening bilateral ties and maintaining stability in the volatile Horn of Africa. The Somali government has accused Ethiopian forces operating under the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia of attacking military bases in Dolo on Monday morning. According to Somalia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the attack targeted the army, police, and intelligence outposts, causing multiple casualties. Jubaland officials offered a different account, claiming Ethiopian troops intervened to protect local politicians after Somali federal forces attempted to shoot down a plane carrying members of the state government. The Dolo clash has cast a shadow over the Ankara declaration, signed on 12th of December, brokered by Turkey, which sought to resolve long-standing tensions between Ethiopia and Somalia. The agreement emphasized mutual respect for sovereignty, economic collaboration, and coordinated security efforts. The clash highlights the enduring fragility of Somali-Ethiopia relations, strained by territorial disputes and diverging regional interests. Earlier this year, Ethiopia's agreement with Somaliland to lease Berbera port reignited tensions as Mogadishu viewed the deal as a breach of its sovereignty. Turkey's mediation in Ankara marked a turning point, aiming to foster cooperation and provide Ethiopia, a landlocked nation, with access to Somali ports. The Dolo clash, however, underscores the complexities of implementing such agreements in a region rife with mistrust and competing allegiances. Jubaland Regional State Leader Ahmed Islam Madobe has appointed his first and second vice presidents according to a decree released on Tuesday night. Mahmoud Syed Aden has been reappointed as the first vice president, while Abdulqadir Haji Mahmoud was named as the second vice president. The appointments came at a time of heightened tensions between Jubaland's administration and the federal governments of Somalia. Jubaland Regional State Leader Ahmed Islam Madobe has appointed his first and second vice presidents according to a decree released on Tuesday night. Mahmoud Syed Aden has been reappointed as the first vice president, while Abdulqadir Haji Mahmoud was named as the second vice president. The appointments came at a time of heightened tensions between Jubaland administration and the federal government of Somalia. Mahmoud Syed Aden's reappointment is significant as he hails from the Gedo region, which is currently under the federal government control. The Somali Federal Minister of Security, General Abdullahi Sheikh Ismail Fartag, is actively working in Gedo to organize against the Jubaland administration. The federal government has long disputed Ahmed Madobe's leadership, rejecting his re-election for a third term as Jubaland president, citing constitutional violations. Federal officials argue that the election process was unconstitutional and breached electoral agreements. Citing Article 70 of the Jubaland Constitution, which limits presidents to 2 terms, the federal cabinet declared Madobe ineligible to seek re-election. Despite this, Madobe has continued to assert his leadership, deepening the rift between Jubaland and Somalia's federal government. Lovely viewers, that's all we have prepared for you tonight from our desk in Mogadishu. I wish to thank the Dalsan Media fraternity for making this news edition a success, and you, a lovely viewer, wherever you're watching us from, thank you for giving us our time. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. for more updates and stories.